Welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Now, after Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, I was ready to give up on the DC Cinematic Universe. That is, until this weekend. I went to see The Suicide Squad twice. Now, despite what the critics say, this is a really fun, entertaining, and cool movie. Why, you might ask? Because it's got humour, it's got great characters, and it's got fairly decent action. Now, what is The Suicide Squad about? Well, Amanda Waller is a government agent who puts together a clandestine team made up of the most dangerous villains in the DC universe. And she sets them to do tasks and jobs that other superheroes or government agencies can't do. She uses the events of Batman v Superman to push this forward. Essentially, Superman's dead, and she convinces the US government that there are too many threats now that Superman's dead to make this team. Now, the cast is awesome. It is amazing. First up, you have Will Smith as Floyd Lawton, aka Deadshot. He does an awesome job as this kind of street smart, deadly assassin. If you haven't read the comics, Floyd Lawton is a man who does not miss his target. He's this Kevlar covered hitman who has wrist guns. And if you've seen Arrow, he's also in it. But Smith's interpretation is a very savvy, street smart kind of Deadshot. And he doesn't take shit. He is kind of a very grounded, dangerous individual who you don't want to mess with. That said, you can tell that the character wants to be a hero, but just he's too used to being a bad guy. But in the events of the movie, you do see that there is some humanity and good in him. As Smith said in interviews, the movie itself is basically bad guys versus evil guys, not good guys versus bad guys or good versus evil. It's bad guys versus evil, and Floyd Lawton, aka Deadshot, is as bad as they come. Smith is cool. He cracked me up with some of his scenes, and he works out so well. Next up, you have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, fan favourite. There was so many girls who were looking forward to seeing this character. A friend of mine, Charlene, she adores this character, and I knew that she had done a great job when Charlene was delighted with her because she adores this character. Now, Margot Robbie has essentially brought to life a character from the animated series, the video games, the comics. She has cherry picked some of the best parts of like the Tara Strong Harley Quinn from the Arkham games, or the Arlene Sorkin Harley Quinn from the animated series. She has made her own Harley Quinn, and she does such a fantastic job. She has such a great sense of humour. She is so funny, but she's also emotionally tormented, and that comes out in different stages of the actual movie, and she does such a great job. Next up, we have Rick Flag, played by Joel Kinnaman, who you might know from the RoboCop remake and The Killing, the American remake of The Killing. He plays Rick Flag, the leader of the Suicide Squad, the unwilling leader, I should say, and he is a very kind of grounded military leader who is not a fan of having to lead these kind of rogues into battle. And Kinnaman does a cool job as this very kind of grounded, serious military man who has his own agenda to the mission, but I'm not going to spoil that. And you kind of see that he realizes that there's more to the Suicide Squad than just a bunch of bad guys. Next up, you have Viola Davis, who does a fantastic job as Amanda Waller. She is an ice cold bitch in this, and she plays it so well. Amanda Waller is essentially someone you don't fuck with, and is an incredibly savage and dangerous individual who is the puppet master of the Suicide Squad. She does such a great job, and you can see how heinous and dangerous she is in one scene. I'm not gonna give it away, but she does a fantastic job in this movie. Next up, Joy Courtney is Captain Boomerang. He is wicked. I had trouble liking Joy Courtney because I think Hollywood has tried to force us into our faces with the likes of the Die Hard movie set in Russia and Terminator Genesis. But this, he essentially plays an Australian scumbag who is essentially an Australian dickhead, an Australian kind of bogan, as they're called. He's kind of like this real scoby kind of shapy character who who would prefer to have a can of lager and a bag full of money than do something decent. And yeah, Joy Courtney does an awesome job as Digger Harkness, aka Captain Boomerang. There's a couple other characters. El Diablo is awesome. He's cool. Kitana, she's all right. She's very, very fleeting in the movie. She comes and goes. And Enchantress is an intricate part of the movie, but Cara Delevingne, I think she wasn't the best for the role. I think she was very weak. But that said, it's the first in the franchise. It might take a while for the kind of character to develop, but in this she wasn't great. Although she is an integral part of the story. Now, Jared Leto, you probably noticed I've kind of left absent Jared Leto's kind of performance, and that's because he's not in it that much. It seems, even by looking at the trailer, a lot of his scenes were cut. But what we do see is a different take on a Joker. He seems almost autistic. He seems very kind of out there. He's not really engaged with other people, and it's interesting. That's an interesting take on the Joker, and I think maybe if we saw more, we could get a more of a feel for the character. I just couldn't. I don't think there was that much of him to engage with. Now, Leto could have had a fantastic performance. It's just that never made it to the movie, which is sad. But all in all, the cast is fantastic. Criticisms of the movie, I think the cutting wasn't great. The cutting was very kind of like chop, 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 chop. The action, the action and cutting was very ham-fisted. Some of it was awesome. Majority of it was awesome, but there was some parts, the action and the cutting just did not help the movie. The other criticism I'd have is it's very formulaic. It is a very formulaic superhero movie, but I think the originality comes from the fact they're supervillains. But that said, all in all, Suicide Squad, it's a fun movie. Despite its flaws, it didn't stop me from enjoying it, and I'm definitely going to purchase it on Blu-ray. It's well worth the look. All I'll say is forget what the critics say, check it out, make up your own mind. And yeah, the Suicide Squad has kind of restored my faith in Warner Brothers and DC's plan for this kind of cinematic universe. So, if you get a chance, check it out. It's well worth a look. Suicide Squad, 10 out of 10 for me. So, this has been the Trash Picture Show. My name's Martin, and yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.